Hey guys, today we're taking a look at the Advanced Z Molga, the latest release in Takara Tomi's sort of revived masterpiece Zoids line. We're going to unbox the kit, do a pretty detailed comparison to the original version, and check it out in action of course. Let's get started!
Robo Shop.
Right, so we have, as you can see, of course, very much a typical AZ box design here with, the white background and the photo of the model in the front. T-Spark logo, AZ logo. I already pointed this out with the RMZ Genosaur, right? It is now forever EZ006 because it was the sixth release in the NJR 25 years ago, and it's also AZ08. Molga, insect type. It says here that it requires a LR1 battery. I may actually not have one of those. And this is a very small box, actually, as you can see. Obviously not that many parts in this, but it's worth noting. Definitely by far the tiniest AZ box so far. On the back here, we have the usual pictures and a whole lot of Japanese text. It moves. It has the hidden missile launcher. It has the opening compartment for the cockpit. And honestly, the only thing I'm seeing here that doesn't look nearly identical to the original Molga, just sort of at a glance, is really this little gimmick here. And these feelers here also look a little bit different. But anyway, let's get this open so that we can take a look. And obviously, we are going to be doing a comparison to the motorized Molga afterwards anyway. And while I'm pulling on this, I can also tell you that what's going through my mind right now is that I actually have never built any of my HMM Molgas, so I'm not going to be able to show you guys a comparison to that. Right, so here is the instruction booklet, actually leaflet from the look of it. We have stickers. Very nice. It comes with Xenibus and Gylos stickers. And also what looks like a reproduction of the original release stickers, actually. Also another thing I'm going to have to take a look at has a whole bunch of these numbers here so that you can number it individually. My guess is the idea is if you get 20 of these, then you can number the units individually or something. Has the eye stickers here, and the rest is basically really pretty much looks like a reproduction of an NJR sticker sheet, although I think it might be a little, the carrier film might be a little thinner. And the instructions are indeed a leaflet, parts lists. We have the how you put the battery into the motor here, and then how it goes together, of course. And on the back, some more pictures. Seems to be another gimmick here where you can take this armor piece off to reveal some of the mechanism on the inside. Description of what all the weapons are. And, an illustration of the gimmicks, again, the fact that it moves, etc. And here we have the AZ Death Star, which is always a sight for sore eyes. Okay, yeah, and that's pretty much it with these instructions. So let's take a look at these parts here. We have, first of all, the motor. Let's take a look at that first. Probably the most interesting thing in this box, because it's the one thing that's definitely totally different. Yeah, this is a motorized gearbox. Here's where the battery goes. Pretty sure I don't have any LR1 batteries, and I don't know where I'm going to get them from now. But this gear here moves, and then we have, this is where the cranks attach for the wheels, obviously. And this is to hang some sort of part on. Let's take a look at the parts here, because I'm already seeing something that I did not expect, which is, yeah, first of all, this cockpit is a completely new mold compared to the original release and NJR clamshell cockpits, and I also think it's bigger. Let's do a quick comparison before we do comparisons. Here's my insanely dusty spine back. It is larger. No. A bit wider, maybe? Yeah, it's wider. It's not really longer, but it's wider, and that's why it appears bigger. If we look at the bottom piece here, yeah, it's very similar in dimensions, slightly wider, and the detail is a bit sharper, especially here on these boosters. You can see they're actually hollow on the AZ, and they're separated completely, and slightly sharper detail overall. So definitely a completely new mold, also with slightly different proportions. Unfortunately, I'm about 99% sure that I do not have an unbuilt motorized Molga that I could compare these sprues to. We have here the wheels, the missile launcher, this horn thing that goes on the front, the feelers from the back that look very different, and here are the mechanical bits that make everything work. There's a pilot figure. Let's do another quick comparison here. You know, this is so close to the motorized model that I really feel like I want to look at this stuff in all sorts of nerdy detail, and I'm taking you guys with me. So we can see here, first of all, these two pilots. I'm probably going to do a comparison photo as well, but they are definitely completely different. The AZ pilot here, sharper detail, also slightly smaller actually, which is interesting. And here, best way to compare this is probably, this is the AZ canopy, and it actually fits. Almost fits. Totally fits. Interesting. Yeah, it's not actually wider, maybe by a tiny fraction of a millimeter, but it is made from wider plastic. So, I mean, thicker plastic. If you see here, the sidewalls are thicker. So that's interesting. Let's get this guy back in here. Old school clamshell cockpit, still one of the top 10 coolest things about Zoids of all time. Don't talk back to me, you know I'm right. Because if you disagree with me, it's because you're wrong. Anyway, I didn't plan for this unboxing for it to be basically me like ranting to myself. Oh, rubber caps. Wow, that's wild. Yeah, these are rubber caps. You know, all the AZ models so far have come with these screw-on caps that are made of hard plastic. These are rubber. Also, notice here how on the inside this is a hexagonal hole actually, and not a round one. They're also hexagonal on the outside, so they look totally different from the rubber caps we're used to, although they're basically the same size as the old school rubber caps for motorized Zoids, of course. And finally, we have these two sprues here with all of the armor on them. This all looks very familiar, of course. I do think it's basically been totally redesigned though. But anyway, we have this sort of warm-ish gunmetal sprue here, and then we have silver. This is the gunmetal color from the from the armor. And we have silver and red. Come on, silver and red here, very old school. And that's it. All right, sorry for the non-existent planning in this video, folks. I wasn't going to do a parts comparison, but now I'm looking at these sprues, and it's making my Zoid's OCD go wild. So let's actually look at this. I have an original set of Molga instructions here, and we are going to look at this now next to the advanced Z Molga parts list and figure out what we got here. First of all, there is that's the sprue with the wheels. Or actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Again, did I mention this is really badly planned, and I'm sorry? So again, original Molga parts don't have the sprues, but do have pictures. The sprue with the wheels, that would be this one, right? We've got the two wheels here. They are parts number 1 and 2, and not 4 and 5, by the way. And then this sprue on the original also has the missile launcher, although it's in a different place. This corresponds with this one. This is a new part, of course. And then these two parts here that I'm guessing hold something or other together are also new. There's one like that here, and this also on the original, this sprue, which is B on the AZ and A on the original, by the way, also have the two inside parts of the torso that hold the motor. Then next, I think I would say these two sprues more or less correspond. This is the jaw armor, I guess you might say, and these two, that's these two parts here. I was confused because they actually look quite significantly different, which is probably because this section of armor here, that's these parts. So this one whole part like this is two parts on the AZ. That has to be the difference. This sprue on the original also contains this mechanical lever piece here. It did come with a couple of gears, no big ones like these though. This is totally different. And then we have the other armor sprue. That's this one on the original. We've got this part. We've got these L-shaped parts here. We've got the big, cockpit hatch that goes over the cockpit hatch, and the rear pieces, which I've never been quite sure which end is supposed to be the head. And then there's also this part that you remember from the box that comes off. That, of course, the original didn't have. And that's it. The cockpit pieces did not come on a sprue on the original. They were separated from the sprue at the factory and then just put in a plastic bag. We have, of course, the canopy. We have a significantly larger motor. I'm going to be real curious to see how the size of these two compares. Anyway, I am waffling, and this video is already very long and chaotic, so I'm going to build this thing now so that we can see what we actually have. Okay, so first off, here it is in action. Not really anything different from the wind-up version, except the power switch on the bottom goes both ways, so you can also run it in reverse. Also, here's a closer look at these gears. They don't actually do anything, it's really just a visual gimmick. And now for the comparisons. The two are really more or less the same size, which is kind of surprising given how big the motor of the AZ is. The AZ does look a bit, I guess, beefier overall, but it's really just minor differences in the proportions. The real difference is in the amount of detail. You can see here there are tons of new panel lines all over the armor, and of course, as we already talked about in the unboxing, the cockpit is damn near unrecognizable. Now here's a look at this tongue gimmick, I guess. It's a neat little inclusion, but it doesn't fold out or anything. It's just an extra part you stick on from the inside of that armor panel. And in case you were wondering, yes, the cannon actually does fit on this one. It's clearly not intended this way, but all you have to do is pry the mounting pieces apart a little and then it works just fine. So, what do we think? I'll get my main criticism out of the way right at the start. I understand that this had to be battery operated because it's 2025 and we don't really do wind-up toys anymore, but everything about the battery sucks. First, there's the fact that it's an obscure battery standard that I actually had to order online and, pay shipping for a damn battery. But then you want to put it in and you realize that the battery cover is on the side of the motor and you basically have to take the whole Zoid apart to put the battery in. I don't know what kind of drugs the engineer who came up with this solution was on, but I don't want any. Thank you. My other problem is that while it's really cool that they included the original release sticker designs, and I did use some of them, the added detail in a lot of places means you can't actually fit them on, especially the Xenibus emblem that's supposed to go on the cockpit, so this is another thing that just doesn't seem particularly well thought out. Other than that though, it's a Molga, and a really nice one. All of the added detail looks really good, without cluttering up the look of the model too much, except maybe on the cockpit, and it's also a lot more solid than the wind-up version because it's not just held together by its rubber caps. For me personally, it's really cool that they're including some of the classic wind-up models in the AZ line because it just feels like they're being acknowledged as just as much a part of Zoid's history as the big stuff that everyone gets excited about. But of course, you can't expect this to be as exciting of a release as, the AZ Death Star or something. You're getting a Molga with a glow-up, and that's that. And that's it for this one, folks. I've still got the RMZ Blade Liger to review, so that's what's coming next, and then the Command Wolf should be out next week as well, so we're not slowing down around here anytime soon. If you're a fan of Zoids and you don't want to miss any of that, seems like now's the time to finally hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you want to help me keep up with all the releases this year and still be able to eat, I have Patreon and PayPal links in the description as well. But just interacting with the video and sitting through the ads helps me out as well. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.